I know, we've been going for a while. So what I'd like to do now, this is the longest video, and this is about the festival. And so I'm hoping, Kenny and Lion, that you maybe pick up, some little gems from this, because what I did is I took clips of some of the things that the participants said and their experiences, and some of the talks that were given at this festival in Italy in 2019. And it's the Breatharian, it's the Prana Festival, I think it's called, or Breatharian World Festival. So let's look at that right now. And in this, by the way, too, the woman who narrates parts of it will talk about the different levels that people are at. So it may, there may be someone speaking on the stage and they have their name and then they'll say level 3 or something like that. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Breatharians are people who have activated the capacity to sustain themselves without food or very little. This is not fasting, weight loss, or healing. This is a lifestyle choice of being nourished by the universal energy, also known as prana, chi, light, or love.
I can consider myself a third level. Sometimes I eat, I can stay a month without, and then I eat once. So to me, to become pranic, it's a natural, slow process, a process of liberation.
Where my body literally started to break away. One side of my body was crumbling, half of my face, like the side of the cliff, just crumbling away. And I was terrified. And if this continued and continued until there was nothing of me left, I didn't exist in form, but I was still in my static posture, but it was my consciousness that was holding me together. I had no form. And this would happen over and over again in my static postures, until again I was able to locate my form, but it was in a more refined state. And then I learned how to journey into my body, in through my veins, in through certain organs. So I was inside looking in my organs, looking out. So I went through this deep breakdown of my personal self, which brought me into my consciousness self, or my light body.
I was born in 1972 in Dublin, and I lived in Wicklow, in the Wicklow Mountains, and then I moved to the south of Ireland, and this is where I began to have a communication with nature spirits at a very young age, maybe 3 years old. And I had one experience that I remember. And I remember looking in the sky and seeing this, what I thought was the sun, coming down. And the sun just kept coming down, coming down, coming down, until it was over me. And the next thing, I was lifted into the sun. And I don't remember anything after that. And after this experience, I began to start seeing different beings, and mostly in nature.
Really, I just came for the experience, that's it. I didn't really expect anything, but I just came for the experience because I knew it was going to be awesome. If it would not be awesome, all right, that's an expectation, I guess. But I felt like I want to experience more about this certain subject. And I thought this is a good place to go. Because I don't even have to integrate myself. I'm already just being here. that gets the job done.
And life is actually a journey from this illusion, which we call reality, back to reality, which we call now illusion. And this is a spiritual journey in which spiritual warriors need to recognize their own limiting patterns. And this is a spiritual journey.
For a clearer understanding of how this energy nourishes us and how it can be observed in people, we use these 4 levels. Level 1 is to be aware of this energy. Level 2 is to begin experiencing more of this energy.
The work of a spiritual warrior is wonderful, but difficult at the same time. It depends upon you how much you are ready to look into yourself.
Level 3 is to manifest the breatharian state, only occasionally consuming solid foods or liquids. Level 4 is to manifest the breatharian state and no longer having calorie intake. Usually, level 3 and 4 are recognized as breatharians.
Universe love you. Also I.
When I was a kid, so many things were happening. I am a twin. I have a twin sister. And because of that, I learned about duality very early. And telepathically, wisdom also, the telepathically technique, how to catch it, what you are thinking, what you wish. And my father always said to me, guess my thoughts. And I was surprised and he was surprised that I catch it. And I was very sensitive. I couldn't eat a lot. And sometimes I said to myself, oh, it will be very, very beautiful and nice if you don't need to eat. And sometimes, and after 3 decades, it's happened.
As time went by, we see that there's a weight around, and we don't realize where this weight comes from. And so my father has this notion of time and space, that because so I'm going to use the words that needed to well understand. We are drugged from our very young age, at least in this society, by food. That has an effect, a direct effect on the being. Personally, my body started to deform itself at the age of 8. I had photos of me when I was 8. I was already overloaded. So already at this age it was going left and right. We're not in our center.
My name is Fernanda. I live in Switzerland with my parents. My mother is English Scottish and my father is Swiss Brazilian. And it's the second time I come here. I came last year already, and I love it. I just love this place. Already, the place is amazing, and to meet other people on this path.
My name is Luka. I come from Serbia. I am helping in camping area because I like the domestic feel when I arrive at the festival and I help the building and then people come, and I like this kind of feeling.
So I'm Anna, and at the moment I live in Mechelen. It's a little city in the north of Belgium. I arrived yesterday and I already had a few wonderful talks to people who are on the same path of that pranic living. and it's wonderful to share experiences about that and to recognize also that we are on the same path. That's very supporting.
It is the third time I am here from the beginning with my family. My sister Simona also helps to organize this festival, and we are here from the first year.
My name is Amael. I'm from Portugal, and I'm here for the second time.
This is for public, actually. It's for people who just heard about it, and just can come here to have some information. So people don't come here to do a process. We have some raw food, vegan food, and vegetarian food for people to enjoy, because they need to keep their level of energy. And it's a place to take information. Yeah, 10 days of information. We started first edition with 5 days, and there were a lot of speakers. We have a free conference, free talks a day. And I said to myself, I need to extend the time because there are so many people who want to talk. And so the second edition was 8 days. And now we're on 10 days. So it's like, we don't know how many days it will last in next year. Probably we won't go back because there's more and more people who want to talk, because there are more and more Breatharian blooming, flowering in the world.
But the thing is that you want to enjoy both worlds, enjoy all the advantages of being a breatharian and all the advantages of eating occasionally. But all you have to remember is that there's a reason that you chose to do that, and it's beyond yourself. We are all here to serve humanity. We are here to show that we can think differently.
Più a connettermi a quello che io chiamo il grande cervellone.
I'm always more able to connect with what I call the big brain.
Questo grande cervellone è come un grande contenitore.
This big brain is like a big box.
È la grande coscienza.
Is the big consciousness.
Attraverso essa sento le risposte.
Through this I perceive the answers.
Ecco che cresce la fede, la fiducia.
So faith and trust grow.
So che tutto ciò che vivo è giusto.
I know that all that I experience is right.
My name is Ivan Gosi. I'm from Czech Republic, but yeah, it's not really easy to live in spiritual way in Western society. So yeah, I feeling like I just came to my family here. Like everybody's here so friendly. Everybody's hugging, and people are really great here. I'm here 2 hours, but I'm feeling like I know everyone here.
If you read my CV on the web, on the Pranic Folk Festival website, you could learn that I've been a scientist for over 30 years. I'm university professor of physics. Nuclear physics is my specialty, nuclear and quantum. To demonstrate, I created a little closed system for you. This is a little, how do you call it? Gorf, yeah. Imagine this is one of you, and I put you in under the glass bell in a closed system. Everything will stay inside the system, and the mass will always be the same. Always, always, always. Day 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100 days, a month, whatever. The mass will not change. Okay? Is that a common sense? He will not gain the weight. But what is happening with the real Breatharian level 4 and level 3 is that the mass is going up.
What I can do many crazy things, so I'm a little bit different than other people, and normally I don't sit high, I always sit low. Of course you can say that, okay, sit on the floor, on the carpet, so this is more comfortable. So, but normally I don't sit up, Many who knows me wants me to be their guru, but I don't want to do that. So I tell lies sometimes, so they cannot trust me. Because they should not trust me. They should trust themselves. Believe in yourself, not in everybody else. Trust your intuition. Always. Be a good example for everybody. Especially yourself. So always follow intuition. And do it as pure as possible. Of course you can be strange in others' eyes. Yeah. So what? Just do anyway. Just be yourself. Okay.
And here I find, I meet Pranic people, they inspire me, but also the visitor here, the people coming, they all have a very profound story, and I receive. I get much more than I can expect. Much more.
The reason I'm here for the Pranic World Festival is that I'm also living on light, and have done so for 5 years now. But again, we live in a society where there's food everywhere, and friends and family do not live like this. So what I really like about this is that I can choose to go just on water for a few days if I want to, and I can also go visit my father for Christmas and go to my aunt's birthday and still eat and be normal with these people. I don't have to make it into something crazy or special for that birthday or something. So I'm still with one leg in two camps in between.
And when I don't eat and drink, I sleep 5 hours in 1 week. Try to imagine that I don't sleep, I don't get tired. What should I do with all my time? Because everybody else is sleeping. Nobody is doing stuff. So I'm just alone and just, yeah, okay, then I can sit and just watch and yeah, but it becomes boring.
We are made of energy. Our body is made of atoms, and all around us there are atoms, and we're just in it. It's just happening now. It's just that when we eat too much, we lower down our frequency, we lower down our vibration, and then our organs inside our body becomes to get tired because it's to work every day, because we are filling it with food, and we don't always have a young body, and it creates a lot of fatigue, and this is what creates people to get old and to get ill, and eventually to die before their time.
Yes, a lot of peace, a lot of joy and sharing, so it's nice.
So I don't know how people should eat, but I know that for me, eating once, twice a week is wonderful. I never had so beautiful energy, and I can do a lot of things, and I'm feeling quite healthy, and I'm 47 now, and this is what I'm sharing. I think the future is really nice for human civilization. It's going to be a new world, and there will be a lot of space. Animals will come back, nature will come back. Cities will work differently, will not be consuming so much, so nature will take back and will clean everything naturally. So there's a lot of not hope, it's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure, because I'm doing it. For centuries, for thousands of years, we've been people in all kinds of religions have been fasting, you know, and we're talking about this. The spirit is the energy. So oily spirit, it means clean. It means oily. It's clean. So to clean up the body, you just need to reduce the amount of food you take in, and slowly you clean your body. And the spirit becomes clean. Your spirit, your action, your energy. The prana, the chi flows better. Call them chakra, call them energy, call it kundalini, call it pranic energy. And you start to feel better day after day. Just by reducing the density.
So here we are. Humanity thinks it's the food that sustains the body. Instead, breatharians are showing another reality. Did you really hear that? We are talking about men and women who are not drinking or eating, even for decades, in good physical and mental health. They live normal lives in the countryside or city, raising families and doing any kind of work. This documentary was recorded in Kokore, Italy, where every year in June, breatharians meet at the Pranic World Festival.
Is everyone still with us?
Yeah.
Survivors.
Yes, yes.
So, any comment?
I have
Any?
one. It appears that we're not finished. One night was not enough.
You know, I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
And it's a big topic. It's a big topic.
Yeah.
It is. And what I'd like to do, I'm one who likes to do experiments. And so I'd like to get some instruction on this and some counseling or whatever it is to learn it and try it, see what happens.
Yeah. I do have The Food of the Gods by Jasmine. I also have, and she actually, this is one of her older books, but I have her Luscious Lifestyle one where she, sets it out, and it's a gradual process as well. I also wanted to go to this because I know some of you, like Kenny and Matt, like the science, right? And because Olga was talking about the chakras, I got my copy of Hands of Light, which is a book that was written in the 80s by Barbara Ann Brannan.
That's my copy.
Oh, it's your copy. Sorry. Mine must be somewhere. And anyway, Barbara Ann Brannan was a physicist for NASA. And she eventually left NASA to start hands-on healing. And she trains people on hands-on healing. And so what why I pulled it out is, if you remember, Olga was talking about the chakras, and what she was talking about were these vortices, the 7 main ones. So we have them everywhere. We have them in our hands, our feet, and other parts of our bodies. And as you were saying, Shima, they do connect to other energy bodies, right? So just so you can see the diagram here. So when she was describing, the stages that we go through, she was starting from the root one and working up to the crown. Okay, and I will put an illustration of this with her video. Any other comments? Lion?
I have a comment. The point is, when I saw this documentary, I remember the cult. I saw 2-3 documentary, but I forget the name. The guy was from US, and they took the people going to make a paradise in, I'm not sure which country in South America, and the people is died by the suicide themselves.
Oh, this reminded you of that?
Yes.
Oh,
and
Jim Jones. Well,
yes.
Oh, like a cult.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes,
like a cult.
Exactly.
Oh.
Another thing, there is one cult in Japanese they call Om. I don't know. Have you ever heard about that? The people is doing same thing.
Oh yeah, I have heard of those groups.
Well, I forget the name of the first person. Sawashi something. I don't know exactly the name. The same things. They said that the love in the beginning, but the end, they make like a hate and killing to people by the name of the love. And all of the religion, I think, when they talking is different from the reality.
There are some people, because we're talking about a cult.
No, not just people, the groups, the cults, they said based in the love, you know, humanity, this love, 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 but they actually, when they come to reality, they hate, they killing by the name of the God, by the name of the Jesus, by the name of the Muslims, you know.
Yeah.
Can I say something for
Sure,
religion? And this is something that Masatori said about religion, that it's like that the spring water and the mountain. That's where the religion usually originated, whatever it's like with Jesus or with Judaism, with Islam, and that's pure water. And then it just kind of getting to the path, coming down the mountain to the city, to the streets, and then to the sewage. And then that's the same water still, it's up there, but then it just came down all these paths, and then all these things happened to it. And then we look at the sewage and we're just disgusted by it. But it's the same water up there. So that's religion. So like we're starting to, and I'm not a religious person at all. Because I was also very against a lot of things in religion. And that really sits with me in a way that it was really pure in the beginning, but then people came and then they being selfish and start to using it for their own benefit. And then people, then we hate those people. And then because they were using religion, then we hate religion. But I think it's not that like we have to respect it or not, but I think there are good things in it, and there are things that maybe we can discuss it or we don't like it, and that's fine. But I don't think that yeah, it's just a water analogy. I think it just says it perfectly.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, and it's and you know that things get perverted happens. People's, you know, they get taken over by their whatever. Who knows what happened to Jim Jones and all these other people. But one of the things that I come to mind is you can tell basically the quality of the tree by the fruit, right? So this analogy is what, you know, if indeed you were to follow this path and you had nothing but misery and problems and somebody trying to control your life instead of enhance it, and you could tell this is not a good tree, this is not good fruit to be eating, or you know. So I mean, it's if you have doubts about this, like Kenny's willing to experiment and try it, see what happens, and then yeah, and it's the same as like the Buddha said, don't trust me, you got to find it for yourself. You know, so if this interests you, if there's some, you know, something, you know, that might enhance your path by looking into this, then that's great, you'll be able to know. And the one guy in the video, in the documentary, said, don't trust me, trust yourself. So, you know, that doesn't sound like somebody trying to control your life. They're just trying to help you along, perhaps.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Lion, I think too, we have to look at, does the technology around us control our thoughts as well, right? Because when I watched that documentary and I was editing it, I saw people who had broad experiences. They had independent thoughts. But when you look at society around us, you find that a lot of us think alike. And that's why we have strong reactions when people introduce something that's unfamiliar to us, right? It comes across to us to be quite strange.
And one more thing, I think life is very short to experience everything. And the point is, this time, a lot of information. And to choose one of them is very difficult, and follow one of the path. It is, and as Dave said that maybe you are following and you see that is wrong way, and you don't have a time to go back and start again from the beginning.
You know, I know we've been talking about people living on prana and that, but it's interesting line you said, we live very short lives. And I think one thing that we've been conditioned to believe is that we live, longer lives than those in the past. And as I start to explore more and more what's going on in the world and alternative lifestyles and that, I'm starting to learn that there are people on this planet living very long lives beyond what we've been conditioned to believe, the average person lives. So, that is an area that I hope in the future to cover that topic. Because I did have a friend who's originally from Africa. He hadn't been back to his village in Nigeria in 35 years. And he went back several years ago, and I saw him when he came back. And, he got to visit his mother and, all his, family and neighbors and all that. And he and I got into this discussion about, age and he said, Diane, there's a man in my village that is 165 years old. And I said, like, Abraham? He said, yes. And he said, he could outrun you and I, right? And he said, even the young guys in the village tease him and say, like, when are you going to, die, whatever, right? But he said, he says he's healthy, he's alert, right? So again, these are things about, this is why I started expanding your consciousness, because there's a lot out there that, we are not introduced to. And, people talk about secret societies, and I do think there are secret societies, and the purpose of secret societies is to keep secrets from the general population, right? So what they do with television and all this technology around us is they keep us like horses with blinders on, right? So they don't want us to see certain things. They keep us distracted just in this narrow frequency of visible light. So,
and just to your point, Diane, human being is as vast as the whole universe, and there are people who just for their benefit or whatever, they want us just to think in a certain way or behave in a certain way, and just not to see all this. And I think to the least, it actually, like what we saw today, it can help us see the alternative. And to me, this alternative is a lot more beautiful than what I see around me. We just eat fast food, it's like those ads in TV, and I probably would never try it, but it is at least more beautiful than what I see around me. So I think it's important to have that non-judgmental view towards it.
And I do want to ask Sarah. Sarah, do you have any comments before we finish?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
No, great conversation. It's fun to just kind of follow along and see what everybody has to say.
And Lion, I really appreciate your feedback, actually, right? Because it is a big shift for people to think differently, right? So anyway,
yeah,
I think we'll finish. It's been a long night.
I'd like to, thank Sarah for, her presence as well, to actually, talk to somebody or listen to somebody who's actually been there for a while.
Yeah, man.
And
And what I will be doing is putting the links to the longer versions of these videos in the descriptions of the videos. So I'll have the shorter clips I did, but then the longer ones with the details. I'll have Olga's website posted, Jasmine, of course, and others. If Michael Warner has one, I'll post that as well. And yeah, thank you for joining us. It's a fascinating topic. And Kenny, maybe we do have to do more on it. Kenny, you have anything else?
We've got lots to go here. Just in honor of what Lion said there, I think the first thing I'm going to cut out of my diet is Kool-Aid.
And on that, I think we'll go. All right. Good night, everybody.
I was at Woodstock. I drank the Kool-Aid.
I am not going to stop to eating and drinking. I am not going to do that. 100% sure.
Enjoy your meals, Lion. Like I
Yeah,
do.
thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.